A large population of Alaska Natives live in Anchorage now. They have to assimilate into the Western world, but at the same time, their health and well-being is prefaced on their ability to access who they are as Native people. So the Alaska Native Heritage Center is where people who are living in the city have an opportunity to not have to give up who they are. There's no way that you'd be getting recovery program services through a tourism center anywhere else. But at the Heritage Center, they're meeting our people where they're at in the city and trying to figure out a way to help.
Oftentimes we're distilled down to you're just a museum or just a cultural center, but a lot of our work all comes back to our health and well-being, not only as an individual, but also as a community. We understand that trauma can be very personal, but it's also collective. And what we often refer here at the Alaska Native Heritage Center are soul wounds. We want to get to the root cause of the soul wound, whether that's trauma from boarding schools, relocation because of climate change. In my case, my mother was adopted out at birth, and so we were never really raised in our culture. From a medical standpoint, a lot of these health issues that we see today, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's suicide rates, whether it's domestic violence rates, we have to understand that these are symptoms of a root cause. We know that the strongest form of medicine is connection to culture. And so you'll see that through our youth sharing Alaska Native games. You'll see that through our elders and youth dancing on stage with Alaska Native dancing. You'll see that with our tour guides living and breathing and sharing our knowledge and our ways of life. But also it's our artists selling their artwork.
Why is it important for us to respect each other's cultures? If Anchorage is the most diverse city in the entire nation, then why is health, education, work, laws, and policies based on one culture only? So the totem pole we walk by outside is in memory of the children lost during the boarding school era. Sheldon Jackson was appointed by the federal government to come to Alaska to introduce Alaska Native people to Western education and religion. So basically the federal government told the denominations, go to Alaska and erase their cultures. Kill the Indian and save the man. That's what they said. Children were taken away from their families as young as 5 years old. And when the children went to these boarding schools, you were not allowed to speak your language, practice your culture, or your traditions. If you did any of those, you were either physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or sexually abused.
Now when we look at our Native population and the way that trauma is passed, everything that was done in a colonial context to kind of get us under control is now what we are experiencing as catastrophic failure to have a high quality of life. The truth of that experience is starting to be talked about, which means that we can actually create responsive programs and services that put our people in the driver's seat. And that self-determination changes people's health outcomes.
How can we help our people heal through arts and culture? In Anchorage, Alaska Natives make up close to 70% of the homeless population. And so we partnered with an organization called Alaska Art Alliance, and we've provided 25 carving stations for men who are homeless to come in off the street and to carve. We've been providing all of the materials, and a lot of their artwork is sold in our gallery.
Alaska in general has a hard time treating people who are mentally ill. A lot of them end up out here addicted to substances. So when these guys come in here, I don't see them as homeless or addicted. I see them as carvers in the hopes that it would help them get back on the right path. They found a place to ground themselves, and that's this place.
We're strong in here. We might have our ups and downs, but our ability to get better and better is making our people stronger. And for some of us guys, it's hour to hour staying sober. It's so hard nowadays. Food is so expensive, and we're just trying to keep our people's voice alive, because without art, there's no culture. Our traditions are dying, elder by elder. You might not hear our voice every day or see us that much, but you're keeping us alive. I'm so good to see my kids now that I'm sober, and it's because of this place. And we would have gave up a long time ago if it wasn't for you ladies. God bless you so much. Thank you for what you do from the bottom of my heart.
This work is saving lives. It's allowing us to meet our people where they're at. And so what drives my work is the belief that you can reconnect to your culture, to your community at any given point in your life. And for me personally, I've walked in the shoes of not knowing who I am as a Yupik and a Nukbak woman. I would say I'm doing this work to ensure that my kids don't have the same experience that I had. And so much of the work that we do here, we're thinking in generations. I want to heal so my kids are healed. And I see the pride in our youth. I hear the laughter from our elders. I see the eyes light up from our visitors. Even just the comments from men who are on the streets. Our work is making a difference. We're in a generation of healing. This is allow us to really operationalize our unconditional love for our community. And we want to find ways to help our people become more whole.